Well, hello YouTube, it's me, Fortmaster, and welcome back to another Choopo reaction. And this is another bizarre lore video because this is the bizarre lore of LittleBigPlanet. Yeah, so LittleBigPlanet was definitely one of those franchises that I really never had any connection to. Never played any, well, I mean, we had a PlayStation 4, but my brother basically, colonized that completely, and yeah, so he's the only one that ever really played games in there, and I haven't been a console player like in a really long time. So other than like the occasional time when the Sackboy came up in other things, like I have like no connection to him like at all. And also, because, like, I know LittleBigPlanet, its whole thing was, like, making, basically, from what I've seen, you could essentially make games in LittleBigPlanet, like, really, really intricate ones I saw sometimes. But at the same time, like, I was very confused by them, because, like, I looked up clips of like how you actually, made levels and stuff in LittleBigPlanet, and it's all done with the controller and stuff like that. And game development normally is already hard enough, where you have like mouse and keyboard and all the stuff that where you can like quick change and stuff like that. But doing all of that on a controller just seems like, honestly, like nuts and close to being masochistic. I mean, at least with say, like, a Mario Maker, for example, like, you're just, like, putting blocks and stuff anywhere. You're not dealing with, oh, if you move here, then this happens, and that happens, and that can do stuff. Like, again, because some of the stuff I saw you could do in LittleBigPlanet was just, like, so nuts and intricate. Like, it was insane. But yeah, I mean, don't have anything really else to add to this, so let's actually get into the video and see what Choopo has to say. So yeah, of course, as always, original video is linked in the description if you haven't seen it for some reason. Corner video will lead to my Let's Play of the day. And if you like this video or any other video that I make, I'd very much appreciate it if you gave the video a like and subscribe to my channel, because over 3/4 of the people that watch my channel aren't subscribed, and I'd very much like that to change, because my next big goal is to hopefully hit 6,000 subscribers by the end of the year. But yeah, with all that out of the way, let's get this thing started then, shall we?
LittleBigPlanet has become a legendary gaming mascot for several reasons. The fun designs, the endless customization and creativity, it's a classic for a reason. Though across all the games, there's been a universe and story created that you might not expect.
Oh god, I completely forgot there was that one PlayStation, like, Super Smash Bros. Clone, where they had the Big Daddy from BioShock. Oh god.
So join me as we go through it all and see what can really be unraveled here. Hi everybody, I'm here in my warehouse, got a little carried away with selling my merch and may or may not have ordered the production of a couple too many shirts. So I'm renting out this place for a bit.
Hey boss, got a quick question for you.
Oh hey Chadwick, how you doing?
We're out of room on the shelves and just made 16,000 more of your awesome hats and comfortable, warm, amazing hoodies. Where do you want them?
Shoot, I don't know, put them outside I guess? I think we own the parking lot.
Okay.
Okay.
Love that guy. He plays hacky sack on breaks. So LittleBigPlanet is heavily reliant on making its story connect to how our dreams and ideas can form into something greater, just as much as it can be a detriment if not taken proper care of. LittleBigPlanet takes place on Craft World. It might look like our lovable planet Earth. It's not though. Instead, it's filled to the brim with arts and crafts material, twines, cardboards. Literally just imagine our one-for-one history, but somehow a Jones Fabrics and Crafts was involved in the process. The world comes from the dreams of Earth's population and beyond, created through all the ideas, wacky concepts, everything, eventually combined and finding their way to the creation of this place, the LittleBigPlanet. It extends beyond this single planet. It's a greater portion of this space called the Imagisphere, also referred to as the Craftsverse, the Craftscom, entirely formed by this creative energy found virtually anywhere else. It's canon that all creativity from the entire Omniverse, so like literally everything ever, has its creative energy sent here, conscious and unconscious alike. Apparently,
why is it every time I watch a Choopo video, there's always something to do with the multiverse? Why?
Currently, every creature has a creative gene that also possesses an invisible connection to this realm that allows creative energy to transport through our cerebrum or umbilical cords, 100% necessary for this place to continue its functionality. It gives everyone life. It gives a lot of the good creations the abilities to respawn and come back from the dead, though. Eventually, social creations may die with the original imaginator that created them, and eventually that creation will ascend to the greater Imagisphere and watch over everyone. The planets found here also have dreamer orbs. These...
I mean, is that... I mean, again, I guess this sounds a little morbid, but I mean, your ideas just do eventually live on forever, just in a different universe, so I guess that kind of works out.
Being creative energy clustered up together straight from the Imagisphere. There's countless craft worlds, infinite little big planets, although we only seem to focus on a few, each monitored through the tree of imagination along with the creators. Not even mentioning things like the Wonder Plane, and just this is infinite, and creation is the name of the game here. It's fine, most of the stuff mentioned is tampered with or messed with, and if the tree of imagination gets corrupted in any way, it'll doom everything. The best citizens of this infinity that's seemingly a paradise want nothing more to make more life, more fun, more ideas. The creativity gets so creative. We'll see new locations being created, such as Bunkum in LittleBigPlanet 3, forming with the creativity of the craft world the previous games took place on. Also, all crossovers easily exist here. Media in general needs to be imagined, therefore all possible crossovers are canon, and the ones that haven't been confirmed yet...
God, honestly, just that one Elizabeth Sackboy, I think they are called Sackboys, right? Like, the fact, yeah, I love how, like, some of them have like, dot eyes, while others have, like, very, like, humanoid eyes, and it's very disturbing.
Exist here. Media in general needs to be imagined, therefore all possible...
Oh, God, again, like, the Elizabeth Sackboy, that... Oh, they even gave her cleavage! Okay.
Crossovers are canon, and the ones that haven't been confirmed yet, we just haven't seen. And ultimately, LittleBigPlanet is the most realistic outcome if the dimensional merge were to occur. But wait! If the infinite Imagisphere is created through the infinite ideas of everything, where do the bad thoughts go? Where do the scary thoughts go? Where do the worst concoctions of the mental realm live? Well, there's a Cold War going on, more or less. Nightmares rarely get the chance to strike and usually roam as outcasts. Our starting point takes place on October 27th, 2008, with the very first LittleBigPlanet. This is Sackboy. He's a precious burlap baby boy, and if anything happens to him, I'm going to resort to violence. I genuinely don't know what to do other than that. With the creation of the LittleBigPlanet, there had to be a population made with the creativity of Earth, so we usually get things like a bunch of Sack people, along with the already mentioned curators, who usually rule over a set area, and then watch over the land when everyone isn't dreaming up new things in their lives. Being protectors just as much as moderators. Sack people in specific are us. I imagine them as the creations caused by the ideas of ourselves, so I have a sack person, you have a sack person, everybody gets one, and they all live in their little ships called pods to travel to custom levels people make. So starting off, Sackboy's meant to be an insert of any character. This is just like a blank avatar that can be replaced by anything. They go to the gardens, befriend the king, calms the animals.
Again, that weird like cardboard king thing with the actual mouth, that's like really disturbing.
Savannah involving like proving King Crocodile innocent while retrieving a meerkat from a VIP room at a club, saves a wedding from falling apart, kills a corrupted sheriff found in the canyons, retrieves a mechanic's car from a martial artist in the metropolis, defeats the evil rotten Oni found on the islands, and this grand adventure leads us to the temples, where it's revealed this one guy, the great magician, he's gonna help us bring back sharing to LittleBigPlanet, because in specific, this one guy, the collector, has been making it his only goal to steal all the ideas of the world and refusing to share with anybody else, because he has no friends, so it's okay to bring death and destruction and torment to everybody else. So Sackboy's then tasked with
stealing the creativity. I mean, I could definitely see that. Some people definitely had it stolen.
Infiltrating their base, freeing all the creation pals and friends we made along the way, and eventually making it to the collector and obliterating them into particles. And this was no easy task, because there was one car NPC and their speaking audio is a bunch of children laughing, and it's really annoying, so this quest came at a price. And then they reveal, oh no, I was kidding! I don't share because I don't have friends! And so, the king invites them to be friends in the LittleBigPlanet community, aka asking their pals to start making levels to upload online, so that's cute. Now, one thing you're gonna notice real quick is how splendid everything is. All the characters are patient, they use manners, they articulate discussions well. Usually it's everything you could want and hope and expect in a world like this one. We're short of a utopia with the few exceptions that we aren't, because in those cases, that leads to a major conflict. Even then, we literally just saw that it's not all too big of a deal. Everyone's so...
I like how, it's funny, you know, the world of LittleBigPlanet, like, half of the people are, you know, sack people, and then the other half are just, like, like flat constructs that just sort of stand slightly behind everybody else. Oh god, it's so stupid. I love it.
So nice. So long as you try loving thy neighbor, there will be no conflict. Anyway, next game is November 17th, 2009. LittleBigPlanet, but this time on the PSP. Sackboy's a little tired from his journey around the world. He's gonna take a vacation by going on a journey around the world. He starts in Australia.
Hey, I mean, might as well see everything that you actually saved. It's a good way to keep motivation for future adventures.
Stumbles upon this funky little fella, the Mystic, and he just goes to Sackboy, and he just goes like, dude, you need to get to Brazil now. They're having the Mardi Gras, and that shit bumps, dude. So Sackboy, understanding what's at stake here, chooses not to sail from the planet's equivalent of Australia to Brazil. Instead, from Australia to China, to Persia to Arabia, to the Alpine Mountains to Hollywood, and then finally to Brazil.
You know, honestly, the Pizza Tower soundtrack in the background, yeah, it's definitely working.
The party goes wonderfully and swell. All the friends made along the way also decide to attend, and then everyone gets the LittleBigPlanet equivalent of blackout drunk. What a delight all around. It's only been 5 minutes, and Sackboy's little lovable guy factor is motivating me to match his freak. That being his freaking love of the world and helping others. December 14th, 2010, Sackboy's prehistoric moves.
Man, I swear, this is absolutely nuts. I had no idea that, you know, that LittleBigPlanet games came out so frequently. Now, granted, I mean, like, the first one was, you know, main console, then the PSP, which was the portable. Like, when did the next, quote, like, I guess you would call, like, mainline one come out? 2011, okay. So it should be the next one talked about.
I'm not exaggerating. I am not stretching this out. I am not going to sugarcoat this. Sackboy's prehistoric moves exist exclusively as a promotional level between major games, along as a way to show off the PlayStation Move.
Okay.
You fellas remember that era when PlayStation and Microsoft were just trying to find ways bridging into the casual market following the success of the Wii, and somehow, for some reason, I couldn't tell you why, it ended up like this? I don't want to play PlayStation games with this thing. It looks like a vibrator, dude. January 18th, 2011, LittleBigPlanet 2. Hey, look, the same thing as before, but better. Almost like what a sequel's supposed to do. Wow. LittleBigPlanet 2 is just like the last one. All you gotta know is that they made a game that's meant to be a new version of the previous game, but better. That's what the 2 is for.
Okay,
At
wonderful.
some point within the ancient eras of the timeline, we don't know how long ideas take to become ancient anyways, some little kid or a dog or something had an absolutely horrible nightmare related to their vacuum cleaner. So now this is the Negativitron, and shortly after the last major conflict has shown up to ruin everyone's respective existences. Negativitron claims to be formed from the negative traits of Craftworld, which in turn means that they were created by the bad vibes of Earth. Personally, I feel like the name of Negativitron pretty freaking clearly indicates that, like, this is a very bad thing we should get rid of, but sure, yeah, okay. This time around, Sackboy's pretty quickly invited to join the Alliance for their previous recognition of being good and stopping bad people from being bad, alongside the wise elder Larry Da Vinci, along with
Larry Da Vinci
and idiot pal Avalon. Negativitron's not like the Collector where it can be redeemed. We just gotta go over there and kill it. Our first location has us going to Victoria von Bathysphere's lab, where she has an army of Sackbots that'll help out. Too bad they're like instant.
You know, I man, you can already tell like the massive budget increase, because in the last game it seemed like all the story mode, like actual characters were just like sort of flat, like pieces of cardboard with like weird moving mouths. But no, here you have actual like designated and designed characters. Like, it's a massive step up.
Taken by Negativitron. This is just something that's going to keep happening as we move along. Right before we do something, shows up, ruins it for everyone. Every time we encounter someone of power in this adventure, they'll join the Alliance while also having to deal with their own stuff being tampered with, while screwing over poor little angry baby boy Sackboy who did nothing wrong. They don't deserve this. Next up is Clive. He's depressed because his life's been ruined by mutated Sackbots Negativitron created, so fair enough. The gang makes their way through all sorts of antics. This is genuinely just a continued and looming threat never seen before in the craft world. There is a lot of fear and challenges that get overcome. Off-screen in Clive's factory, a surprise tool that'll help us later, Dr. Hubert Higginbotham. I don't know if I messed up that name. That's what we're gonna go with.
Who came up with these names? Like, what are these the creative creations of? Like, what's going on here?
Also, why are these names so stupid? These are so hard to read off. He gets infected by the weird vibes of Negativitron's army. They're also called the Meanies, so now I'm double confused by sometimes we got like Claude C.O. von Worcestershire sauce, and then like right next to them there's like Eric the
Honestly, the meanies weren't they the name of the enemies in like the Beatles' Yellow Submarine movie or something like that?
The people of Earth suck at names. After some fighting, a lot of the Sackbots get rescued. The Alliance takes them to Avalon's Empire of Avalonia, begins to rehabilitate them. Partway through, an attack happens. This is bad. A huge part of the spaceship, aka the source of travel of the Alliance, gets damaged. They gotta go find Dr. Hubert, still infected by the way, in the asylum of this one nice lady. Her name's Eve. He's zooted out of his mind. In the end, he can still function. He's gonna be seeming like he's going on a trip at all times. I hope the poor fella's doing okay. He repairs his ship. Avalon decides to be an absolute fool. Ding-dong dum-dum once again tries making a cool speech, gets captured by Negativitron, like all things seem to do. So Sackboy just goes up and he goes, all right, this freak is attached to something. We need to just go to space, blow him up, and then, like, they've done nothing but bad. I just got back from Mardi Gras. I'm so tired of this dude.
I mean, honestly, good on him. I mean, from everything we've seen, this is very much almost like a stage play. Like, everything just goes off into the nothingness. And no, Sackboy's thinking, hey, wait, where does that go? That might be the way of defeating him. Either that or a big pair of hedge clippers just to cut his hose.
Alliance goes up into space, saves Avalon with the help of the friends made along the way. Bing, bang, boom, Negativitron frickin' dies. Now it's time to play on the absolutely amazing, incredible, fantastic, iconic, beloved level editor. This is probably the best time to finalize and just note the aspect of level packs and crossovers of LittleBigPlanet. Like, the game has a whole mountain of little packs and costumes and all that stuff that makes sense. This is an idea land. Eventually, every idea will make an appearance here one way or another. They'll be made into levels, they'll be made into your skin. It works. This could easily be a situation where the imaginations of people and their interpretations of franchises fly into this realm, get dedicated level packs, even have their own conflicts. For example, the Metal Gear pack has an issue with a machine making non-stop bad quality levels that we gotta destroy for the sake of making good levels and just having a better batting average.
Wait, so of the Metal Gear levels was essentially about fighting off AI slop? Okay, well, talk about being ahead of your time.
Game. And that's all there is to most of them. Tiny conflicts that make me wonder how often this environment is suffering all the time through random little things made by little Gregory from down the street with their unlimited and unfiltered internet access. September 19th, 2012, PS Vita LittleBigPlanet. One day, this little planet Carnivalia shows up and starts letting the good creatures and creations of Craft World come on over for a visit. In actuality, it was taken over by the nefarious puppeteer.
Why does he have literal sausage fingers? Like, look at that. The ends of his fingers end in, like, the little knots you put at the end, in sausage links. Why is that? Why is he... Oh god, his nose is a sausage too. What is this freak?
Ooh, oh no. So this guy, his real name is Franklin Wadsworth Emerson. He lets the planet populace come in and then turns them into the Hollows just because he can. Just wants more controls, makes them into weird, scary wooden puppets. And now the craft world's in danger because he just keeps stealing things from there. What a dick. All the other curators in this area just want to make things right again. So Sackboy he puts on his bootstraps, he gets the help of everyone as he makes it through Carnivalia, meets a whole gang of wacky circus pals until the real hidden secret of puppeteer McFranklin shows up. He just wanted his friends back. He didn't mean to be a bad guy. That's all of you. That's all. You're all just gonna be misunderstood nice people, except for Negativitron. That guy knew he sucked. That guy knew he wanted to destroy.
I mean, he was literally a vacuum cleaner, so it kind of makes sense that he sucked.
Also, this was just a giant friend group drama that led to a bunch of innocent people almost having their lives ended. All the curators of Carnivalia had a falling out behind the scenes. Franklin got sad, tried making hollows to recreate the friends he lost, and ended up just backfiring on everyone's behalf. And it's okay, everyone hugs it out. Sackboy's like licking a blue raspberry sucker in the corner, discontent that he's got to keep cleaning up everyone else's problems. It's not fair. With all these games in popularity, Sackboy...
Honestly, isn't that just this tale of the perpetual, like, protagonists? Like, their only duty in the universe is to fix literally everybody else's problems. I mean, it's the same thing with Mario. Like, how many games has Mario had where, like, it's just something happens and then just everybody assumes he's the one that's got to do it?
And LittleBigPlanet most definitely started getting positioned as lead mascots of Sony's gaming pillar. The world liked this little yet big planet oh so much, which of course, in all situations like these, leads you to the creation of a bunch of spin-offs where you start losing the direction in which you were trying to do to begin with, or not. I mean, Sackboy could really just be going for a change of pace instead of just resolving powerful people of the lands. That's not gonna come for him. So on November 6th of 2012, we got LittleBigPlanet Karting, being a racing game featuring sack people and only sack people as racers.
Honestly, like, again, it seems like every franchise needs a kart game. Like, just every franchise.
Let's get this mixed up with that one Mod Nation Racers game. I had no idea as to why. They both exist in that oddly specific corner of my brain, right next to where I keep my memories of my grandma's backyard and that time
I've never heard of that one before.
Word of advice for you fellas, if you're at a bar, never open up a conversation asking someone if they know what Guilty Gear is. As a consequence of making the United States and a lot of the people so car dependent, a huge chunk of creativity and imagination of the population leads to a craft world racing ovulation. Shortly after LittleBigPlanet 2, there's a new enemy faction called the Hoarders, and they wanna hoard. Wow, they hoard.
Jeez,
and,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, who would have guessed? Wowee! How could you tell? They steal, they hoard, and they steal. Good luck stealing the concept of infinity. At some point, you run out of hoard and can't protect everything being hoarded. So Craft World is empty, and one of the hoarders gets into a fatal car accident, and Sackboy now has a vehicle.
That's how Cardplay... So, Sackboy just steals a dead guy's car, then. Okay.
And with it, they're gonna bring peace to the realms. Also, the Sackbots are gonna be helping you out. They're cool. Go to location,
Okay.
Stop the horde. Go to location, stop the horde. Go to location, stop the horde. Go to location, stop the horde. That's it. That's the entire game. You meet Avalon's brother. His name's Cyrus Oculus. He has a space station he takes to the horde's planet, so that's fun. And then the horde remembers that sharing is caring. And would you look at that? Another crisis is no longer a crisis. And then the narrator encourages you to clean your living space and whatever. There you go. Game's done. Very, very cool. And then just a couple weeks later, November 20th, 2012, Sackboy is dragged into PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
That was it!
24 characters who may or may not be All-Stars, who all had at least one game on the PlayStation, all join a massive, definitely not Smash Bros. Crossover. You might not have reps from iconic, impactful games of the PlayStation library like Crash, or Spyro, or Oddworld, or Final Fantasy, or Persona, or Tomb Raider, or Castlevania, or Silent Hill, or Resident Evil, or Katamari, or The Good Devil May Cry, or Croc, or Gex, but hey!
Man, okay, yeah. I'm not the biggest, PlayStation guy. And I know most of that just from, from videos and reviews I've seen online. But yeah, those are, from what little I know, those are all pretty iconic characters. What do you mean they weren't on the fighting game? Like, that just seems like a really lost opportunity.
You got Evil Cole and Nariko from Heavenly Sword, the very real game that released on the PS3 in 2007. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a crossover that has so many video game characters, and not all of them are all-stars. You got Sackboy sitting nice and tidy in mid-tier. How did they get here? Well...
Polygon Man. The fact that, the bouncer Big Daddy. Oh, Mr. Bubbles, why?
Oh, this is Polygon Man, and one day a rumor started going around the realms that he was looking for the strongest warriors because he's jealous. In 1995, he was gonna be the
Probably jealous of Master Hand and his Super Smash Bros.
PlayStation mascot that basically got swapped out for the rogue gallery of top franchises being the mascot characters. Polygon Man doesn't really like that. So following the events of, at the very least, LittleBigPlanet 2, Sackboy feels the aura of other worlds and knows the danger of Polygon Man. Like, he can physically feel the destruction caused in other locations, and being a creature reliant and hell-bent on creativity is gonna do everything in his power to mitigate that very specific thing from happening by entering those new lands and beating the ever-loving shit out of Nathan Drake and Kratos in specific.
Again, the fact they keep using clips from Robot Chicken, like, it's just beautiful.
So yeah, there's a multiverse. What are you gonna do? I don't think anyone really cares about that anymore.
Honestly, I don't. As long as it's not a mobile game. Like, I'm okay with, like, more developed and higher quality properties having, multiverses, because at this point it seems like every single one. But it's the mobile game worlds that always have multiverses that that drive me crazy.
I've become numb to this feeling. I thought it was obvious. Oh, wow, a multiverse, wow. Yeah, it's literally implied in Little Big Planet. I don't care. It actually works here.
Yeah, it does work with Little Big Planet.
Each set of characters has a rival character, as in someone who they have exclusive interaction cutscenes with. To get some fun banter off, be a silly way to interact with the characters. That'd be fun to see talk to each other. I feel like that's a big part of interactions like this. You got some cool ones like Isaac Clarke and Zeus having complicated clashing upbringings. Zeus being distraught how a seemingly typical man is able to meet his level and strength. Sackboy has to 1v1 Bioshock monsters. You know, the famous FPS adventure taking place in the land of the Rapture, full of deteriorated men and monsters, but incomprehensible to the human mind. A city full of experimentation, abandonment, and ultimately agony. That's where you get to go, Sackboy. The only reason they fight is because, quick context for Bioshock, there's this resource called Adam. He's able to rewrite genetic code. There's a shortage in the deep underwater city of the Rapture. Big Daddies were once maintenance worker monsters that had a job change to protect little sisters who are literally innocent girls genetically and mentally reprogrammed to seek out Adam for corpses and intruders. Now they'll be in pairs where Big Daddies lose their minds if anything possibly happens to their little sisters. So in this game, Sackboy will play hopscotch and jump rope, and that's enough to warrant a fight to the death. And in this situation, Sackboy's the winner and not the loser, because he will explode if he loses, and that's like an actual canon death. He'll go on to beat the Polygon Man and return to Little Big Planet, where he gains the powers of said Polygon Man to spread and encourage creativity, improvement, and growth across anything reachable. And I love this. It's literally just like, yeah, the little guy wants nothing else than the best for everyone. Regardless of what anyone thinks, the only time he resorts to destruction is when it'll prevent further destruction, as we saw with the Negativitron. I don't know, I thought this was cute. I love this a lot, and it goes further to show us that he's a pure creature with no harmful intent. Beautiful. I love him. October 30th, 2014. Run, Sackboy, run!
Really? A running?
You can tell because Sackboy is running, and it's also endless, just like my turmoils. You might...
An endless runner, of course. What was it? What? It seemed like every single, like, major property had an endless runner at one point. Like, honestly, thinking about it, first one I could think of, was Bending the Ink Machine, and then it kind of slowed down before like Mario, Sonic. I didn't know they made it. Why?
I call that a personal issue. I call that character flavoring. What is he running from? Is there a destination? Is Sackboy running from his demons that lie within? Is Sackboy facing himself? No, he's got to escape an attack from the Negativitron. No, you're dead. We saw you explode and stuff.
So we could just say that this game takes place earlier in the timeline. It's not being released in chronological order.
Yeah, so fun thing, Negativitron's death seems to be a retcon. It shows up in PlayStation Battle Royale as a stage hazard. It's here. Yeah, I just see it as either a recreation or maybe, just maybe, nobody gives enough of a shit for the spin-off games to follow the expected canon set up across the games. Does not matter, we care as much as they do, aka we don't, and we can ignore this very specific plot hole found on a mobile game endless runner for Little Big Planet and the fighting game where Parappa can fight Heihachi Mishima to the death. November 18th, 2014, Little Big Planet 3. This is Newton. He's voiced by the guy from House MD, and when I found that out, I had to recreate the first thought that came to my head. Newton makes a wormhole and sends Sackboy to the land of Bunkum, where he reveals the origin of the land and why Sackboy's been summoned. So way back in the past, Bunkum struggled against the looming dangers of 3 titans. The titans being these amalgamations who cause pain and destruction, and eventually were defeated by 3 heroes, a little doggy guy named Oddsock, a big and small fella named Toggle, and a funky bird guy named Swoop. With the teamwork and abilities, the Titans were able to be sealed away where Newton claims his mom, Nana Pud's gonna free the Titans and bring back the Dark Ages. Too bad he's a liar! Sackboy gets to the stealing thingy, Nana Pud's pissed at her son who frees the Titans when he believes it'll make Bunkum more creative because that's the big insecurity for him. He failed that one test where you imagine an apple in your mind, and he really hates that he's not creative enough.
That's not a creativity issue, that's literally just your brain. Everybody's brains are different. You don't have to feel bad just because you can't visualize the apple rotating in your head. I mean, I can visualize it, rotating. I mean, it's not that big a thing. It's not really that special.
enough. The Titans instantly possessed and corrupted him, and from here Sackboy's launched away, so the rest of the formula becomes apparent. Sackboy goes to a new location, reawakens one of the heroes, has them permanently join his crew, solve the issues of the respective area, and ultimately get rid of one of the Titans. That's it. That's the rest of the game. More wacky characters and locations full of teeny tiny little conflicts that we'll ignore and ultimately amount to very little. When all 4 heroes come together with only one Titan remaining,
it works.
And they seem like they finally got Newton once and for all, he pulls a big, bad, rotten, no good gambit to make a last-second escape by capturing Sackboy and forcing everybody else to go retrieve him. Newton releases the Titan in his newly made fortress and then returns back to normal. He feels really bad, and thinking that he forever failed with no chance of doing anything good ever again.
Honestly, I'm just trying to make sense of his design, because, like, you know, you have, like, dapper British gentleman suit, you know, bowler hat, stuff like that. His head's a light bulb, and, like, his face is made of the filaments. Yeah, I can understand that. That's good. Why does his hat have, like, the dial for, like, an egg timer on it? Like, what does that have to do with British gentlemen or light bulbs?
And hey, you know what? It works out. They beat the Titan, almost fall to their deaths, get saved by Newton's papa, as Dr. House puts it. And so the 4 heroes are thanked by Newton and his reformed family, who have learned to be nice to each other, and they all leave Bunkum and head home, where Larry, Da Vinci, and Victoria are happily together. This is a DLC pack, by the way. They're throwing a welcome back party. Larry forgot to send out the invitation to all the other curators in the last game. At least Clive is here, so we have that.
Okay.
Gap. There is a gap, a big, big gap in time. This is where the LittleBigPlanet mobile starts to sputter and stutter. There's no new game for 6 years. The era of creativity seems to have absolutely fallen apart in the past decade. That's my canonical assumption as to why there's no new games. The events of—
Wait, I thought the last LittleBigPlanet was LittleBigPlanet 3. I didn't think there were any new ones. Like, what? 2, 3... Prehistoric, Run Sackboy, LittleBigPlanet Hub, Sackboy, A Big Adventure, 2020 mobile game, Ultimate Sackboy. Oh, okay. This is getting really sad now.
Of 2016 were enough to force LittleBigPlanet into an unimaginable depression. So when they recover, it is just not the same as we left it. So much has changed and transformed in that short time. So on November 12th, 2020, we got Sackboy, A Big Adventure. Sackboy now resides in the village of Loom. It's become the home of a lot of Sack folk, and it seems that Sackboy has had enough time in one location for him to develop vocal cords. Cool! I don't know how I feel about that though, to be honest. This is Vex. He's a problem because he chose to be. Made of nightmares, Vex is looking to make a topsy-turvy machine that'll bring what he calls the uproar, this being a new counterpart to the Dreamer Orbs in the Imagine Sphere, where it'll make everything not nice and generally unpleasant. We can't have that. Well, I mean, we can.
I mean, we honestly can't. It's already unpleasant enough. I cannot imagine it getting any worse.
But it would just suck. To make the machine, he snatches up all the Sack people as builder slaves, and Sackboy, he is pissed. He's had it with all these problems, all these enemies. He's had enough. Gets into a pod, steals Vex's plans he dropped mid-attack, leading him to not only getting help from this elder person, Scarlet, also determined to help the plans and help the people.
Again, seeing Sack people with actual eyes is just really disturbing. Like, it's giving me really big 9 vibes. Except, you know, like the movie 9 with the little sack people that were all made from, like, the pieces of a scientist's soul. Very weird movie. But, like, at least there you had, like, the goggles and, like, the mechanical eyelids that kind of, you know, that kind of helped. No, here you just have, you know, sack, flesh, and actual eyeball. It's so weird.
Vex is screwing with. By the way, Scarlet has a prequel comic. It's just her being like, oh no, I gotta go to this village and help out Sackboy. Oh no, there's bad stuff coming. I gotta go stop it. That's it. That's the comic. Eventually, this leads to Vex with a masterful gambit. Across the game, Sackboy thought he was collecting Dreamer Orbs on this journey as a way to stop Vex, but he made a daring deception move. The orbs are needed to power the machine, and Sackboy foolishly gave them all up. Only by miracle does Sackboy manage to make it to the tree decree of imagination prevent the topsy-turvy machine
of
from
course.
replacing it. Just barely, it manages to solo this threat. Makes it home and is knighted by Scarlet, which, a lot of questions coming here, like, why couldn't he be a knight already? When's Vex gonna come back? Do we finally have a permanent antagonist? Is this the only remaining Sack people population? Where did any of the heroes of the third game go? Or where did any of the people from the last games go? Like any of them. There's none to my knowledge that appear or get mentioned here. Like even Clyde got disintegrated to irrelevancy. And that's it. Nothing else really, just ended here it seems. So that's the last major LittleBigPlanet adjacent installment. I feel like there might be more on the horizon, but we have yet to tell. LittleBigPlanet has been added to the seemingly growing pile of dead PlayStation mascots. They really need to stop swapping out their platformer characters. Spyro's been in and out of jobs for the majority of his existence by this point. However, when one falls, another tends to rise. And for the time at least, we have a new little friend to root for who is taking up the mantle we just lost. Now, Astrobot is out avenging Sackboy as the all-new PlayStation mascot, the same way Sackboy once took the mantle for Crash Bandicoot, and then in an unrelated era, Ratchet and Clank were just coexisting in the Sony ecosystem. They might still be alive. Come back to me when they suddenly go 8 to 14 years without a game since Rift Apart. They'd make their first debut with the launch of the PS4 via the Playroom in 2013, and then the VR game that released in 2016 exists exclusively for the purposes of showing how effectively you can do cool VR stuff on the console. So in other words, Astrobot is our Mii equivalent. They are here for the purposes of demonstrating the hardware while being cute. Then in 2018, they drop Astrobot Rescue Mission. Ooh, that one's got a little kick to it. This is Nebula.
Actual game.
She's got a real thing for computer parts and gets an unbridled lust when laying sight upon them. Astro and his little crew of bots have their ship jump, and on account of looking like a PlayStation headset, Nebulax puts it on, scatters the bots across the universe and levels. Go stop him, rip off his bones or whatever. Very cute little game. It's just a 3D platformer with a VR headset. No complaints here. This is just like an actual good game. Then in Astro's Playroom in 2020, no real plot here. Go on and do some good ass platforming.
Honestly, I had no idea there were this many Astro games. Like, the only one I had heard of was the newest one where everybody was making everybody was making a big deal out of it. I had no idea there were prequels or the VR game.
Very solid, very short 3D platformer. This should just be more openly available. And finally, you have September 6th, 2024, Astrobot.
Oh, never mind. This is the one I was talking about.
The crew is flying around and exploring space until Nebulax shows up again. Sees the ship coincidentally shaped like a PS5 with some lovely looking computer parts, rips out the CPU of the mothership in order to get access, which in turn launches the entire crew across the universe once again, except for Astro, getting revived by his own little controller patroller. Astro's got a couple goals now. Find satellites, turn them on, seek out crewmates, rescue them from the endless voids and abyss of space, find lost parts of the mothership ripped out by Nebulax, and defeat his minions on your way from doing all that. Once all the parts are gathered and the Astro crew is returned to full strength, they form the Play Squadron as one giant PlayStation-themed armada and completely stomp Nebulax into a green gooey paste. So badly, in fact, that his ship turns into a black hole. So if he's going down, somebody has to come with him. He grabs Astro, who has to sacrifice himself so everybody else on the crew won't join them in the ultra-awful black hole land. It's very sad. Roll credits. Just kidding. Astro's okay. Nebulax has been defeated. I like these games, but with that being said, this being the antagonist is respectfully not doing it for me. Guys, I can't even lie to you. I like Astro more than LittleBigPlanet.
Whoop.
Okay, not the level maker, obviously. I mean, as for a typical PlayStation mascot, having the gameplay, having a better accumulation and idea of what a game console can and should be while representing that well, yeah, no, somebody other than Nintendo made a Nintendo level 3D platformer. Go give them Game of the Year. Good job, Astrobot. Even then though, this still sucks to see, especially with a lot of the old LittleBigPlanet stuff slowly not being available, going from being a product to something closer to a relic. Thanks again, hackers. I'm sure ruining something for nothing was totally worth it, but I mean, Astrobot has a crewmate who proudly wears Sackboy as a fur coat. LittleBigPlanet walked so Astrobot could sprint. But wait, it's not over yet, because Sackboy would make a grand comeback as happier than ever in the all-new game, Ultimate Sackboy.
Ultimate Sackboy?
It's another endless runner! You mean to tell me that Sackboy was found deceased and taxidermied in the hardy, deep Midwest city of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and all you have to show for it is a Subway Surfers clone? Like, that's it. It got nothing to make it stand out besides the general Little Big Planet theming, and it's not only interchangeable, but it's also just kind of ugly here. There's nothing else about this game that even makes it feel like it came from this fallen titan. I hate that. This is everything against what Sackboy is, what he does, what he represents. Little Big Planet is creativity, creating, and yet they have been warped and faded through games like this one. And then you look at other stuff the creators of this franchise, Media Molecule, made, and how they've continued the general theming through iconic games like 2013's Tearaway, dead IP by the way, and then the 2020 Maker game released on PS4 and PS5, Dreams. Part of the complication with Little Big Planet just seems to be how much more accessible creation to this level is. This series was able to last, yet it also stumbled and staggered in more recent times, with the hacking becoming a prominent issue in older games, along with Sony's minimal support of older software. And that is simply an unfortunate trend of gaming as a medium. Maybe this is an indicator of times changing, or maybe this could be still like around if Sony didn't make stupid dumb decisions all the time, like raise the price of their PS5. Friendly reminder, these are all the exclusive games they have. Literally wait for emulators or any of these games to release on Steam or something. I don't really think buying a console is the move anymore, unless it's the Nintendo one. And sure, we might have some questions remaining in Little Big Planet's story, namely just like how the cognitive creation aspect of it works. We as humans know damn well what we imagine. Where are the no-no thoughts going? Would we have gone to the intrusive thoughts land in Little Big Planet 4? Or why did the name of the primary location juggle between Little Big Planet to Craft World? It's hard to say, and it's hard to confirm. Every time I make one of these videos now, there's like a 50-50 chance an idle franchise randomly starts regaining motion.
Oh god, what new Airbuds movie? What?
Too many times for my comfort. Well, gang, it's time for me to skedaddle. Thanks for watching. Here's a guild statistic. Check out my description for socials, my gamer subs link, merch, all that. Please, please, please buy my merch. Please, please, we made too much. There's no more room in this warehouse. And to say the least, I have definitely miscounted on how many sales we're gonna get. Word of advice, do not make a custom shirt per person on the planet. I am in so much debt, I made a mistake.
Oh, okay. Honestly, that's really sad. I mean, like, again, I don't have, like, any real personal connection to Little Big Planet. Never played any of the games. But it's definitely one of those franchises that I've just, known about for, basically forever. And to see it just gone like that, just ignored, is... It's really sad. I mean, there's been, how many different, franchises that have been tossed away. It's really sad. But yeah, that's definitely going to be it for now. So yeah, I hope you guys liked. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.